This is how we move. This is how we move.
Hey, did this another beat?
This is how we.
All right, man. Welcome to the It's a Rap podcast. We're finally here. First show, a lot of anticipation. Here with the resident rapper, OMO Avo out of Chicago, and the token white guy, Brian from the Mancast. You know anything about that?
I've seen a couple episodes.
I say token white guy just because, you know I've seen the DJ Vlad podcast, and Eminem caught it for being the culture vulture. So really, I just think that's funny. I just think it's hilarious. I think that's more of a flattering thing for people to be into that culture. So
I
just
think it's
funny.
a good contrast.
I think it's funny.
I give it a good contrast. As long as you ain't exploiting. As long as you're not exploiting.
I don't think any of that's going on. So we're down in the Ottumwa Radio Studios, downtown Ottumwa. First podcast episode. So this week in hip hop history is what we'll start off with. January 27, 2004. Shout out to Chicago with Twista releasing his fourth studio album, Kamikaze. It sold 312,000 units in the first week and reached number 1 on the Billboard 200. And then you got Cash Rules Everything Around Me, Cream. You've got the Wu-Tang Clan released their hit single, Cream. Yeah, that's right. Wu-Tang Clan released their hit single on January 31st, 1994.
Damn, I was like 3 years old.
Long time ago, yeah. I know I've got that album
I was
in
like
my...
3.
Yeah. I know I've got that album in my collection back in the CD books. You saw that one day. So, hey, if you're a hip-hop fan, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're all about the indie artists, so we're trying to, get some exposure to people trying to come up. So with that, I want to shout out Mike D out of Bloomington. Got his group
Mike
Access
D.
granted. Yep.
I thought it was Mikey Schultz. Or
That's
is that his
right.
rap
That's
name?
his name. Mike D's the rap name.
I seen him on Instagram last night. They did a...
Yep, they did a podcast, and I saw something
He
about...
messaged me a couple times, and he wanted to work and stuff, so I'm probably going to be working with him soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. He seemed like a cool dude, too, so shout out Mikey. Is that his rap name, Mikey D?
Mike D. Mike D.
Mike D.
Mike D out of Bloomington. Access granted is his group. He's been on a podcast episode recently. So, and then I got to give a shout out to my guy Troy Madden from Chicago. Moved to Atlanta. He's got madhousepro.com. You can go buy beats from that website, and he's also got a YouTube channel where he's showing you how to run the software and produce music. So go check him out for sure. Madhouse. That's double D's. madhousepro.com. So. You got anybody else you want to shout out, Avo?
I got a couple people. We can get to that in a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
But I definitely want to shout out. I want to shout out the town, Bloomington, B-Town, man. Shout out all my people out there. Johnny G, my little brother. Big B, Lil B, Free Gabe. It just everybody's out there. I'm starting to see people coming together. They're doing shows, podcasts, they're getting their story out there, man. And I like that because we from Bloomington all the way up to Chicago. So I'm loving seeing Chicago being active. I'm loving to see them brothers down there get active. Shout out my brother Chain Dog too, man. Rich King on Facebook now. Chain Dog. If any of y'all know me, y'all know him. He's working with us, also trying to put all this together, man. So, and
might have a big project coming this summer. We're in the works right now, but could be a big thing for indie artists. More information on that coming later.
Thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So stay tuned, folks.
So, why Ottumwa, Avo? Why you moved to Ottumwa from that area?
So, I was born out in Bloomington, Illinois. That's my hometown. That's where I was birthed at. I got people from St. Louis all the way up to Chicago, all the way down to Bloomington, Decatur, all that, all through Illinois, all through the Midwest. Raised in Bloomington, Chicago too. I don't know if you know the term spicy. It's spicy out there in Bloomington, out there
Sure.
in Illinois. It's getting hot.
A little heated.
So the streets are hot. You can't walk down the street without them, harassing. You can't walk down the street without looking over your shoulder. If somebody gonna try to, get down on you, take you out, rob you, I mean, you can't you can't have a woman out there without wondering if somebody's gonna backdoor you for that. It's just so it's not that that bothers me. I don't care about
Right.
but what I'm more so I'm afraid I got kids. You know,
Right.
I got babies. A lot of people where I'm from don't handle them type of responsibilities, but I do. And so I came out here because I'm tired. I'm tired of looking over my shoulder, not only for the streets, but for the police, for them people out there. A big thing that made me come out here. So it is a big change. You know, Bloomington is a huge city compared to where we're at out here in Iowa. Chicago even bigger. But so I was out in Bloomington and my cousin caught a case dealing with some girl. The police came harassing over this situation. All I did was drove them over there. You know, I don't want to say too much because it's an open situation. But it turned into him choking her out, almost killing her, home invasion, burglary. They came to my house. They maced and tased him. I stood up for him. Turned around now. I got a warrant all of a sudden. They maced and tased me. I ripped the taser out, threatened the cop. They maced my 18-month-old daughter as my wife was trying to protect her, trying to get to her, telling them I'm trying to get to my daughter to keep her safe. They pushed her all the way down the stairs and grabbed her by her neck, all this stuff, maced up my daughter. And it got too much. Threw a case on me, said, I got an open case now, y'all, for threatening a police officer. For threatening a police officer after he maced my daughter, tased me, maced me. And then they added me onto my people's case, saying I had involvement with him over there with this dispute with his girl. You know, and so it was, and then I had a house that my family that I was able to purchase and get into my name, my first home owning out there, something small, but they told me I couldn't even live there. They said they don't want me in the neighborhood because of my background.
And that's
they told me I had to move.
HOA, correct? Like a homeowners association type thing?
This where you have to lease out the land and all this, so they have say so over who lives there pretty much.
Yeah.
And they told me I couldn't live there because of my background. So here I am, started a business. I'm staying out the way, staying out of trouble. Got my own business going, take care of my family, take care of my kids. I can't even live, and it was a horrible neighborhood.
Really?
I couldn't even live there. Meth heads everywhere, all that, crackheads. And they told me I can't live there. Can't live there. I can't get a job there, can't do this and that. So I know it's a big difference out here from where I just came from. And a lot of people was asking me like, so you got all this going on, you're in the mix, you got music going, you got all this stuff happening and all the studios are there, everything's there. I got a lot of stuff going on in Chicago. And a lot of my family was like, man, I don't think you should leave. And I'm just like, for me, and not to be too straightforward, I'm gonna end up doing something I don't need to be doing. Not even in the streets. Not about selling drugs. Not about breaking crime, like doing crime and all that. I'm gonna end up letting somebody trick me out of my spot if I stay here. You know how much it took out of me not to physically harm one of them officers. You mace my daughter, you put your hands on me, you mace me, tase my cousin. Even though my cousin had his situation going on, how they approached it was horrible. They took that. Not only that, they took me and my wife to jail and left the kids.
Really?
And said the neighbors gotta come get them or something, just to back up what they did. Tase me, and then now I'm charged with threatening an officer because I can't really go too deep in the case, but you just made my daughter, put your hands on my wife, took me to jail. All I did was threaten you out of the whole scenario. I mean, that don't sound too big of a deal to me. That's all you got was threaten. And so what I wanted to do, I'm trying to keep myself from doing that. So I came out here and I mean, it's quiet, it's slower. You know, there's more opportunity out here outside of all the other stuff. I can fly out to Chicago.
Right.
I could drive out to Bloomington, fly out to Bloomington. I got a studio getting ready to be set up in Chicago, so it's a full studio. I'm gonna have you know it set up to where I can stay there if I need to, because I do a lot up there. So I just came out here and it's peaceful to me.
How old your kids and stuff?
So I got 9, 7, and then almost 2-year-old. So
Now, what's the school district thing like? What's that kind of like compared to Chicago schools versus the school here in Ottumwa?
So
What do you think of that?
they haven't went to school in Chicago.
Okay.
They went to school out in Bloomington.
Oh, okay.
Bloomington, it's a step down from Chicago. Chicago is more, you gotta have uniforms, metal detectors. Bloomington is not as bad. It's ghetto. It's still ghetto, but you know, you got normal clothes. The school system here is a little behind.
Oh, yeah,
I just say that. It took us almost a month to get our kids in school here because
Really?
of the technical stuff they have.
Right.
and
Probably getting paperwork and
getting-
stuff.
Yeah, so.
Now, I always hear this phrase about us. Well, I hear a couple about Iowans. I hear Iowa nice, but then if you go down there south of the border to Missouri, you hear idiots out wandering around. But the Iowa nice thing, would you say that's compared to like the Chicago area, Bloomington area, would you say that's a valid point there? People are nicer over here?
I haven't been all through Iowa yet,
Okay.
only here, so I don't know. I don't know the differences, but I mean it's nice to me. Shit,
Yeah.
where I came from, don't. We was talking earlier, you know, about how it'd be I don't know what we want to call him, a fiend walking around and stuff.
The
and
meth
y'all
heads.
was like, dang, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing that, I'm like, shit, that don't even bother me.
Yeah.
They be looking for my attention. I'm like, they look normal to me, shit. So, but no, I mean, it's a lot different. One thing I will say is, it's great not driving down the street, and I have a vehicle in my business name, licensed, insured, everything's good. And I still, every day I leave that house, and I don't even have nothing on me, and I'll be like, you know, in Illinois, they'll pull you over you'll get pulled over 5 times in 2 months.
Yeah.
Out here, I ride right past them, and I'm not even
Yeah.
sweating, you know. So it seems a lot nicer to me, you know.
So now, out of habit or programming coming from the environment you've been in, because I don't think people around this area really understand that you're going to adapt, you know, to the environment you came up in. So like if you grew up and every day you're walking to school and people are driving by shooting at you, like you're going to adapt to something like that, where around here we don't see that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Do you still feel like, just without even thinking about it, you're kind of preparing for that situation even over in this space, or have you kind of acclimated to the area?
I'm always on point. That's just like you said. I'm trained to that. I've done a lot of time in prison, in the worst prisons you could be in. A lot of time in the streets. I'm trained to that. I'm also an artist now, you know, so I can't walk around with people, you know, somebody might be holding a grudge from a podcast, a show I've done, a lyric I've said, the jewelry I got on, or just they chase clout. That's what we call it where I'm from. I'm not sure if you ever heard that term.
Yeah.
But some people make a name off of taking me out, you know, so there's that part. I'm not too much worried about that here. But so I'm always on point, you know. Then you got the craziness in the world, you know. My wife's dad, he stays strapped everywhere he go, you know, and you know he's a exec high up, at
And
a
that's around
company,
here, right?
And he lives here in town, and he stays strapped. You know, my wife will ask him, why you got that on you, Dad? Shit, you never know, you know, these crazy meth heads around here and all that.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I said. I was.
So there's that part of it.
My wife and I were concealed carrying there for a while. We got permits. I mean, now you don't even have to get
gotta
the
have
concealed carry, but yeah, we carried them for a long time. I kind of stopped just because I didn't want to have the 9 tucked in all the time. I'd rather go with a pocket pistol just for something to pop easy and pull out of my pocket, but I haven't got that far yet. But
Pocket rocket, huh?
yeah, something a little smaller, more convenient. Maybe not going to kill somebody because then I feel bad about myself.
See, out here, that might save you. Out in Illinois, man, they walk around with guns this big that are machine guns. So
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy out there, man.
So now,
But I'm here now.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Thank you for inviting me on the couch and to the radio station. And
I just want to help somebody out, man.
I'm ready. Thank you, and I'm ready to. I like the avenue we're taking with the It's a Rap podcast. So that's the name, right? It's a Rap.
It's a Rap.
Came up. It's a Rap.
Like I said, man, I'm a fan. I haven't found one song on your Spotify, YouTube that I don't like, man. It's all good. Everything's good. I can't wait to see what you do next because you've been releasing teasers on Facebook and that. But what was your life like growing up in Bloomington? Or was it just Bloomington, or you go to Chicago too?
Chicago, Bloomington. I done lived somewhere, everywhere in Illinois.
I mean, growing up, what was it like for you? You know,
whole Illinois. You got the rack. You got Chicago, where it's nonstop. You got the smaller areas like Bloomington, the suburb areas, Bloomington, Decatur, Springfield, all that. But Bloomington up is pretty bad. You know, from Illinois, Bloomington up, Rockford, Bloomington, all that stuff. The suburbs, it's crazy. It's murders. You know, you got 4 people getting killed in a day. You got just so much going on. You get shot at, you shooting, going to jail. It's very tough out there. I'll say it like that.
what's most of the killings over? Is it like a robbery? Is it bad beef between cliques and stuff like that? I mean, what are people getting off for?
A lot of that is the stuff I can't get into.
Sure.
But outside of anything I know of, you know, a lot of that stuff is, I mean, you got some of every reason why. You got a lot of it's gang ties.
Sure.
You got the gangs. You got the what block you from. Now you got cliques. You got the cliques.
So now are cliques and gangs the same thing, or is that a different thing?
2 different things.
2 different things.
But all one and the same. I mean, you got a gang. A gang was more structured. You know, it's one thing. You know, whereas to the cliques, you got a bunch of different gangs in one clique. And they might be going off of they block, what school they go to, where they grew up, you know, what rap group they in. You know, those are a lot of rap groups or cliques, pretty much. So, you know, that's really the difference. The gangs is more, that's where it all started, if that makes sense.
And then what drives somebody to join a gang? Like, I mean, is it for protection? Is it just because my friends are doing it? Like, what's the deal with that? I mean,
for me, there's always a deeper, very deep reason for stuff. But as far as the gang life, I'd say a lot of people are joining them gangs because of a void. You know, they don't have a family, they don't have a father. They're missing something. And so they go to this gang for that. You know, whereas that was back then. Nowadays, people are just joining it because it's popular. It's cool.
I see that. I think it's just funny because I know like Wayne and Birdman, like their bloods now all of a sudden, or this has been a while coming on.
Yeah, they've been bloods for about 20 years now. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Back then,
yeah, I mean, it's like, where did this come from?
I don't knock nobody. I don't know nothing about them brothers.
Sure.
Where they from. From my view on it, they probably was involved in that. I would definitely say Birdman was in that.
Right now, I know
the music game.
I know. I heard he was from the streets, but everything I'd heard, and I would just talk about this stuff because it just fascinates me, you know, all that stuff. Right. But I mean, from what I'd heard, like down there in Louisiana, in those areas, there wasn't any of those gangs. It was like wards and things like that, which would be like a neighborhood or something,
like
right?
Cliques, probably.
Yeah.
I know the gangs. I mean, so we're gonna get into gang life. Gangs started in Illinois for the most part. I mean, you had stuff before that, like the mafia, Irish mobs, all that out in New York. But for the most part, the Midwest, Illinois, is the motherland for all the gangs. You know, that's where the gangster was born at.
Even like the Crips and the Bloods out in the West Coast?
I don't know the exact origin of that, but I know they came after. I'm pretty sure they came after.
Really?
I think they might extend to the G's, the GDs, the six, something like that. Tukey Williams, but I'm pretty sure they came after. I know almost every gang though in this country stems from Illinois, from Chicago, Illinois area.
And so the gangs, like they started up right for neighborhood protection. Is that how they started? It just kind of went south as corruption hit because money, corruption kind of fouls up everything. But
I can't speak on everybody else's games, but for what I know, most of them, and this will be a good time to get one of my big homies in here. We big shout out Big Brandon, Big B, out of Bloomington. He a gang encyclopedia, and I just sent him a message last night trying to get on the show. So let him know we trying to get him on the show. We trying to get you on the show, Big Brandon, Big C. They call him Big C. He wanted to see, but he's like a gang encyclopedia, so he could tell you everything you need to know. So if we want to do a whole episode on that, we can get him in here. He'll tell us all that. Me personally, I try to stay off the camera with that stuff, but I mean, it all links up somewhere. It all links up somewhere. There's a start of it. A lot of them were for protection, for the hoods, for the neighborhoods, and then you got, the situations where greed came in. You got certain gangs that outlasted that, some that fell to it. You got some that are still structured a little more than others. And then you got the fact that you had the government coming in corrupting it as well, So,
Sure.
There's a lot of factors that play into it.
And now you say, they were used to be more structured, they're not now. Is it just like nobody wants to have a leader, or is it because we're trying to keep away from those RICO charges?
They
Because I
locked
know
all their leaders up.
Yeah.
They locked all of them up.
But I mean, doesn't somebody step up and become the next guy?
I mean, once the head fall, the rest of the body fall. That's how they look at it. So if you catch it in the early stages where it's not structured enough, where you do have these titles of this person who steps up, but they was taking out all of them at once. They would take the head, the man under him, and the man under him, and then throw some guns and drugs to them, and then to the rest.
Wild.
Now,
Is that what makes it so wild? Because there's no leadership?
I mean, that's what.
Or is that just how it was anyways?
I mean, no, it wasn't always wild. For me personally, I don't know if the people know out here, but everybody who follows me knows I did over half my life in prison. I'm 34. I done did, I want to say a little over 16 years in prison.
What were your stints like? Was it like 3 here, 5 here?
It wasn't all at once, but it was like a cycle that just never ended, and so it was back to back too. So I would go in, I would come home. I think I was out a month, went right back.
Damn.
Did another bid of 5 straight. Came home, was out another month, went back. Did another bid of 3. Came home, was out 2 months, went back. Finally get out. I get locked up in Cook County, do another year straight after 2 months. It was one time where I came home. Matter of fact, I came home from juvenile. I was out 3 days and went back, caught my first full adult case. And that was my first big bid, 5 years straight. 3 days, I was out 3 days.
What's juvie like compared to the big time?
Juvie worse. You
Really?
ain't seen
I've
all the
heard that.
lawsuits out?
I've heard that.
Man, look, they call it, what they call it, man, gladiator school or something like that.
I've heard that term.
So, juvenile, I feel like that's what messed me up. That's where my whole life flipped upside down. That's where I learned, how to be numb. That's where I learned it was horrible. And all them lawsuits is out for a reason. Like, these people would lock you in there, these kids, and half of them shouldn't even be in there. It's because society don't want to do their job and deal with that. You lock up their dad, you you put the mama on link card, and then you don't want to deal with the baby. You want to throw them just in this place, and then you hire these men, these white men mostly, that come in that hate them, and they're in there telling them, you got to go in the cell and fight this kid. You gotta give me oral sex. You got to get him oral sex.
Nightmare.
That's the biggest thing. It was gay. Like, everything they did in there, nothing against anybody, but all they did in there was touch on people and tell them to do this and that. You know what I'm saying? And then the violence. You got to go in there and fight him. You got to fight. That was the only, you would think it would be, they're there to stop them from doing that. No, they acted like the kids from the streets, but they got to go home and they could just do it for a little bit.
So
y'all got to go fight, and you got these kids who are actually terrified. They're terrified.
Right.
I was terrified. I don't know about nobody else. When I walked in there, I was terrified as a baby going into these cells, and I'm being told, you got to go in the cell with him. If he try to touch you, you just got to fight him. And then the guards will stand around, and it's like a fight circle. And this is juvenile.
So, so past juvenile, you go to actual prison. What's it like walking up in there? Were you terrified? Did you just know you were gonna have friends in there, like they were already in there?
Was you ready? That's what the juvenile do. You ready for it?
Really?
So, and then me personally, a lot of people know my story. So when I did things, I did it to the max. Like, when I was introduced to the lifestyle, I said, I'm gonna gangbang. I'm gonna gangbang all the way. I'm gonna be the top of the. So I did that everywhere I went. Juvenile, I was on maximum security as soon as I got there. Because I beat up a guard, and actually the guard was an ex-pro NFL player. I forget his name, Jerry, in JDC in Bloomington. And I don't know, I spazzed out one day and I tried to beat him up. Mind you, he a ex-NFL player. Yeah. Like, recently just got out the NFL. And I kind of did my thing with him. So my whole time after that, juvenile, was maximum security this. Went to adult, maximum security. So going from juvenile to that, I was ready for it. Which is sad.
Right, very
looking
sad.
back now, that's sad. I was, and this is a big identifier of my past, is I was a professional inmate. When I went in there, I was the best, at being an inmate that you could be, and it's sad,
So there's like no rehabilitation, because I've heard of things like GED programs or class. Is there stuff like that? Yeah.
It wasn't back then. When I went, how I ended up in Max was because they didn't have those programs, and my first mindset was, okay, I'm in an adult prison. I'm 17 when I caught my first adult bid. I went to prison at 17 with adults, and I said, hey, I'm gonna use this for good. I'm gonna get in college, because I already had my GED. I got it in the juvenile. I'm gonna get in college. I'm gonna learn something to turn my life around. Get in there. Oh, you're too violent. You're too young. The crackheads, the old 60-year-old crackheads, the old dudes who ain't getting out in 30, 40 years or never, they're walking down the line to school all day. They're all in school. We got to sit there and be labeled violent and wait and all this. I got 4 years. I'm going to wait 3.5 years because you got all these old men that's been in here that aren't going home, or all this and that. You're going to push the kids that you should be rehabilitating. Mm-hmm. Everybody should be rehabilitated, but these kids, these babies that are coming in here should be priority. They telling me, no, you can't get in school. No, you got to wait. It's a line. So I said, okay, since I can't do the one thing, like it was just, it's disheartening. Like, you just want to do good and nothing's there to assist you.
Well, you're locking somebody into a cage with a bunch of crazy, no disrespect to these people, but, animals, some of them, and they're going to live like that, and then you're going to try to reintroduce them back into society as a better person for being locked up and punished. But man, when you're, like I said, when you're just used to that lifestyle, and then you go, you're raised from a young kid. It's just like around here, if a kid sits there and sees his dad drinking a friggin' case of beer every night, well, he's probably gonna grow up to be an alcoholic.
Good chance.
So you know what I mean? Like, when you're growing up as a young kid and you see everybody around you doing crime, you're gonna be like that.
Product of an environment is what they call it.
What's that?
Product of your environment
Correct.
is what they call it.
Then you get thrown into a cage with a bunch of other people where really what you're learning is how to do it sneakier and better.
But see, this is what made me mad. This is what made me, and I still have this problem today with the police, with government, with all of them, because it's so phony to me. They're not really here for what they say they are. Some of them are. Some of it is good. Some of it is necessary. Mm-hmm. So I don't knock anything about authority because government is necessary in some ways. But when I come in there and I'm trying to do better, and you motherfuckers tell me no, and I should be priority. Like you would think the baby, the 17-year-old, would be the priority. Mm-hmm. That's getting out in a couple years. Sure. Not the crackhead that's been in this motherfucker for 20 years and got 20 more to go.
Right.
So it makes me madder. That made me madder. That made me get out with a vengeance, if that makes sense. And I'm a baby, so I don't know how to deal with this vengeance in my heart. You know, I might go try to do it. And so that's kind of where my music stemmed from. That's kind of where me making it, I always had this drive to where I'm finna make it big. You're gonna hear my name, you're gonna see my success. Because of that, you never wanted to you did not want to help me. Every time I tried, every time I wanted to do positive, you kicked me down, I messed up, and then you blame me. So watch this, I'm gonna do it real big, so that when I do pull up in my Lamborghini, when I do pull up in my Ferrari, you gotta be mad. You gotta see this success.
It's the way to think.
Know? And that's where my drive came from. I've been held down so long, man. It was unnecessary. Cause I'm a good dude. Like I'm not. It's in me now. It can never go away. What I saw, what I went through, that thug, none of that. But I've always been a good person. I always wanted better. I had a father in the hood, one of the only families that had a father that made us sit down at the table, eat dinner together. You know, he taught us manners. He was the only nigga in the hood. My bad, I didn't mean to say that I don't know how y'all, but
it's YouTube, man.
The only man in the hood, the only black father in our hood, out of the few black fathers that were there, that was not in a gang, that was not out there trying to rep a color. He said, I'm a man before anything. You know, so I had some decency put in me at a young age. It was taken away because my pops passed when I was young. And they sitting there telling me I'm just a villain. Mm-hmm. I'm a villain, that's it. You know, and to me, I don't care where you're from. No, ain't no baby, no villain. You better rehabilitate and figure out how to help them or not. Yeah. You're not finna, so that's where that stems from, man.
So now, back to kind of the gang thing, you know, and in music and that, you know, the famous stuff is like Duck, and they have their little thing with O Block. And then he comes out and he releases the song Chicago Legends, where he's talking about both sides. Is that a real thing? Like, does the gangs, trying to think of where I'm going here, do they just hate each other to where they won't work with each other at all? Is there mutual respect at some points? I mean, is there people on the other side that you respect on the other side? I mean,
me personally, I got back to the thing what I just said about my father. I'm a man before I'm anything. And a lot of people get to that. Some people don't. I can't go too deep into our stuff.
Sure.
But what we're about is progressing in life to that. So this is why the gangs kind of took place of the father. It just got turned bad. But in our stuff, it says, you know, you progress these stages until you become a man. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I'm a player, man. I don't know if you know the term player, but I'm a player. Like, I'm trying to get to some money. I'm trying to do stuff like this. You know, I'm in the radio, y'all. I'm in the radio. You know, doing something positive, making a podcast. You know, making music. You know, and trying to get to some money. I don't care who you are. I'll do that with you if you're on the same page. You know. I can never leave behind what I did. Maybe that's pride. Maybe that is, I don't know what to call it, but I don't think it's necessary. It's just necessary to make sure you change in your heart, your mind, what you're on this earth for, what you'll live and die for. You know, for me, I changed that to my babies, to my success, which is above all to my My purpose is above all, you know. But there was a time where I lived only for the game. Like I was so and a lot of people, there's a lot of people in the streets that they don't know me, period, except
Right.
unless you was locked up. Everybody in there knew my name. Out here, I wasn't involved in normal activities of a lot of guys because I did so much time, you know. But I was so messed up so you've been to the service before, right?
Yep.
I don't know how bad it was wherever you went.
See, now I was stationed in Fort Riley,
was a tech
Kansas.
guy?
No, I wasn't. I didn't get to the tech stuff till way later.
You was the cameraman?
I was I was on tanks. I was on the Abrams tanks.
Oh, yeah, the tank.
Yeah, so I got out of high school.
So I need to talk to you after the show about how can I get one of them tanks for my homie.
Good luck. Good luck. That's all I got to say. No, man, so I grew up way different, you know. I was a spoiled kid, only child for a long time, you know. And it took me a long time to grow up, and I think going into the service was great for that. I mean, that's one of those.
I see what you're saying.
That's
I've met
one of
some
those
kids
things,
like that before.
You know, I mean, I was just
They
terrible.
just
Like
oblivious to the fact that it's a real world.
I needed beat down is what I needed as a kid. I really did. You know, but going into the military, you know, you just evolve through the big situations that you encounter. So I mean, you know, you graduate high school, there's growth there. You graduate college, there's a little bit more growth there. You go into the service, there's some growth there, really, because I mean you're reprogrammed big time. You know, you have a family, there's growth there. You're just changing.
That's real.
So I mean, if you're sitting in the house just bitching and moaning about everything all the time, there's no growth there. You're gonna act like a kid for your entire damn life. You know what I mean?
It's kind of the same shot when I went to prison, and that's kind of what I was getting to. For me, you know, there are a lot of kids who grew up in that from a very young age. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was in the trenches. I've been poor my whole life, you know, growing up. But like I said, I was one of the only kids in the hood that had mom, had dad, you know. I'm from Bloomington. It isn't as bad as Chicago. It just got like that. So there's these kids, you know, that been in the crack house since they was 3. They've been toting a gun since they was 5.
Yeah.
I didn't tote my first gun until I was 11. They started at 5 or 6, you know, and it was just, that's who they was. I got kind of thrown in because I never wanted to be that. You know, I always had big dreams. I was a star athlete, all that. I wanted to do something big. My pops taught me that. Shout out to that man. But there's some kids who never even had that. It was just, I want to be the biggest drug dealing gangbanger I can be my whole life.
That's crazy.
And so they get, you know, I'm watching, you know, that side of things. But me, I didn't go into it looking at it like that. I got thrown into it. You know, and that's like one of my songs. My song Had to Be. It's on YouTube, Spotify,
Amazing
everywhere.
song, great song.
I talk about at the end how God choose this lifestyle. One thing about me, you know, and this right here is for the streets because I've been hearing a lot of talking. I'm not trying to oppose nothing. I didn't want to be in this. I don't want to be a gangbanger. I don't want to be a bad guy. I don't want to fight. I don't even like violence. I'm just big. I had to be in that. And if you want to know what I went through, try to go. You could never walk 2 miles in my shoes or what. Maximum security with gangbangers, with killers, cellies trying to kill me. I seen a guy's head beat in with the bar of soap.
Gosh,
flat.
dang, man.
I heard a guy raped and beat with a TV till he died. I lost my pops while at my first bid in juvenile prison. My pops died. I didn't get to go to the funeral, nothing. And everything you can do on the streets, I did it in a shorter period of time than they could do it. So when I say I came from not wanting that to having to be involved in that, and with my mentality, I'm gonna do everything to the max. I did it to the max. And you can bet that I did it to the max. But there's a lot of guys who, and those are usually the ones talking that choose it. What do you choose that for?
Right.
I get it. It's the pride. There's some things that I did choose. I mean, I guess it all comes back to the pride. Like, I didn't have to do none of those things.
Now we talked about, you know, respect from the one side to the other. Would there be some people on the other side, you know, maybe just people you knew, or even in the entertainment industry? Because I know, you know, we talked about Duck and O Block and Vaughn and those people, but is there people that on the other side that you would you would have respect for?
I mean,
Now, this could be entertainment people, it could be people on the street, whatever.
You got Duck and them. I respect everybody, like you said, but one person I really mess with is, I don't know if you heard of White Folks. Rest in peace. He just died
Yeah.
2 days ago. White
I saw
Folks.
that news come up, yeah.
And I mean, I fuck with him, man. He was a cool dude, you know. He reminded me of a lot of people from back home. He remind me of a lot of my people, if that makes sense.
So I did look into him a little bit, and he is funny. There's one clip I seen, because was he more of a comedian? I saw him rapping, but was he more of a comedian or a rapper?
Yeah, White Folks was he one of the GDs. Like,
I
he
saw a
real
lot of that,
GD
yeah.
to me.
He's wearing a
like,
shirt. He's always
that's
fucking
just his
forks up.
personality, man.
Yeah.
It ain't even that's what made him so brilliant, man. You know, he wasn't trying to just be nobody. He was just white folks. And that's why I'm like, damn, that hit hard for me. I never even met him. It's just, I know there's always that one guy in your hood, you know, or in your area you grew up, that's just him. That's him. He just himself, man. And he was a beautiful person, but he GD, you know.
I want to say I saw this video of him, and it was like him riding in a car. I think the driver was maybe filming him or whatever, like holding it up, you know. And he was like, what the fuck is this? And he turns and looks, and he has like this toupee on or whatever, and he's like talking about being Trump or something. It was just hilarious, man. I was rolling. It was hilarious.
All he did, what we call him, where I'm from, is he a shit talker.
Yeah,
All he do
a
is
troll.
Talk shit. He I don't even want to say a troll. He just talk shit. He talk shit to himself. I be like, what? But so why is, you know, what makes that question relevant is he's, you know, I am what I am. He's GD. We the opposites. You know. White Folks, that's his name for all the viewers, and I want to keep reminding myself while we're doing this, we're touching a new market of people who don't understand, you know, that don't know these streets, you know, and we welcome y'all. Like, this is for y'all too, you know, mostly for y'all. We're gonna have another episode, another side quest. I'm gonna call it a side quest, but we're gonna get real deep into the streets. That's gonna be something separate.
Oh, you talking about the other project you brought up?
Yeah, I'm looking at calling it the back door to the streets. But so, you know, he's a total opposite, you know, of what I am, what he is. He's GD, he's white folks, you know. And so for the fact that I mess with him, a lot of people will ask that question, like, how do you, like you said, do you mess with other people on the other side? And like I said, it goes back to what I was explaining is I'm a man before anything, you know. One thing I love more than anything is a good person. You know, I love a good person. And duty has called to where I had to choose BS over a good person because of us being opposites or from the different. It don't even have to be gang ties. It could just be from a different block.
Right.
This and that. And I'm sure everybody in every other walk of life has had to deal with stuff like that. But when it comes to gang ties, it's kill or be killed over this stuff, you know, sometimes.
Sure.
And this ties back into my family, and this a lot of this is stuff I do want to talk about more so in the Back Door to the Streets podcast, because that gang stuff is real deep. And I don't want to go too far because we're just trying to graze the surface. We ain't going too far into it. I don't know what you want to do.
I'm up for whatever. I think we should focus on the rap, but you know, I don't want you to
Rap.
get in trouble for, you know. But this is also the introductory episode, so I mean, episodes after this we will focus on
But with
the rap. But
with that being said, and this is more deeper into my background, half of my family is GDs, and that's what white folks is. And so I grew up around a lot of guys who act just like him. And that's why it made me happy. And so rest in peace to white folks.
sure,
You know?
yeah, for sure.
Rest in peace to white folks. I don't know if everybody knows who that is, you know, around here, but he's look him up on Facebook.
Hilarious guy. So
He's
funny.
not a comedian. He's just himself, but he's funny. So a
Yeah.
lot of people look at him, and I think more so people like white folks because he was just himself. And the GDs, that's who they always been, man. The one thing about them, they gonna do whatever they feel like doing, and it might be the craziest thing you ever seen, or it might just be hilarious. But you know, they themselves, I will say that they're not super militant. You know, and he was a epitome of that. He's that uncle at the barbecue that make everybody happy. He's the one that everybody wanted to be around.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all tap into him, man. Rest in peace, white folks. Anybody you know who took that loss, you know, we got prayers going up for you. You know.
Yeah. Now, stemming off of that, the white folks thing, is that just like a term that maybe they use for anybody that's white GD? Is that kind of like that? Because I mean, you got there's a documentary called Pimps Up, Hoes Down, and there's a pimp on there called White Folks. I don't know if he's tied to that life.
Hold on, that's called what?
Pimps Up, Hoes Down.
Pimp Up, Hoes
Yeah,
Down.
it's a
That's some
doc.
shit you watch?
Yeah, it's an old documentary, man, where they follow some pimps on their way to the Players Ball, and I think Ice-T, I think the rapper Ice-T narrates it, something like that.
Oh,
but
no,
it's
man.
something crazy, man. You have to see that movie. It's an old one. I seen that.
So they had a dude on there called White Folks.
Yeah, he's a white folks. He's a white pimp, and he drove like an old like roadster style car, like really old. And they just follow him, man, and they talk about pimping and all this stuff.
It
it's
could
a
be
crazy
It
documentary.
could be anything. It could be gang related or not, but typically folks is
Folks Nation type of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
It's some stuff like that, man, and
Well,
that's
'cause
probably
then
what they talking about.
There's a Chicago rapper, E.C. Illa, who kind of has an alias White Folks too.
Yeah,
Great
gotta be
rapper
folk.
too, man. He was one of them that Troy Madden put me on, you know, from the Madhouse Pro. Just amazing underground rap artist. And he was with would be with names like the legendary Trackster out of Chicago with the Seawall Mob was their label. So I don't know. I just didn't know if that was like a broader term that they might just use for people on that
Now
side.
it's a new term out called phonem.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you ever heard that, but
I've
that
heard it, but I'm
stems
not gonna
from
say I
that,
know
but
it, but-
everybody say it, so
Sure.
it could be hit or miss. But white folks usually that's somebody who GD folks, something like that. But
That stuff is crazy. The GD folk. Because I seen so there was a time where Rick Ross released that album. He had that star on there, and the GDs were like trying to tax him for that. And there were a lot of videos I saw on YouTube from different places, and there's one from like Alabama, I want to say, and it's just scary because they had a bunch of GDs in the background, and they're hollering that out, GD folk, and then they have they're like just telling Rick Ross, you got to check in, you got to check in. And I don't know how all that worked out for him, but man,
I mean, he can't be doing too bad. He got more money than a lot of them, so.
but man, it's just the thing, like,
He saved.
I don't care how.
they try to kill him though. So
Yeah,
I
man,
don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying. Like, I don't care how big you are. If you're playing around with that stuff, it's
You don't
gonna
want
be
to play
bad
with it because
news,
it
man.
can't always come
Yeah.
back on you. I will say that. That's something that you got to keep in mind. So that's a choice you make when
Yeah.
you go from that to this. You know, these are things I had to think about transitioning from the streets to music to this path. You know, these are things that I have to think about when I do these shows. These are things that I have to think about when I'm going to do live events. You know, and it ain't just gang ties. You see a lot of celebrities, man, that have ties to other stuff like Diddy and all these people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
know what you're doing when you in
Yeah.
that limelight. And will come. They say what happens in the dark will come to light. That's what I think they was talking about.
Yeah.
You want to be up there in the light. What you do in the dark can't shine. You know, me personally, excuse my French, I don't give a fuck if I did something bogus, which I have because I'm a human. We all done did some shit, and I'm a man, and we the worst when it comes to being crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it came out. It wouldn't bother me. So I'm not running from nothing. I am who I am. But a lot of people, that's their downfall, you know.
Yeah, I
You
just
know,
like I said,
their
I just
backgrounds, the gangs.
Yeah.
You know, it all comes back.
I just don't understand why some of these people come from wholesome families and that,
And
and then they
decide
grow
to
up and
get
then
in
they
it.
just decide to get into it. Like, man, that stuff terrifies me. Like,
It's a few reasons, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you're interested in it.
yeah, I mean,
yourself,
but
right? You
but
got
I
me
mean,
on
it's
a
just
couch.
it's interesting. You know what I mean?
You
I'm not
ain't-
trying to go
you
join
don't
that
wanna go
stuff
to
and
the
be
hood
act.
with me?
You know,
You straight?
sir, no, sir. Because I mean, like, what happened to that dude Zach TV? You ever heard of him?
I heard that name.
Like he was
What
like one of
happened to
the.
him?
He was a YouTuber that was, and Duck brings that up in the Chicago Legends thing. He was a YouTuber that was visiting different hoods, I mean different gangs, and he was
Oh,
filming
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
popped him for just
He
being.
got killed or he just got shot?
He got killed. He's
Oh
dead.
yeah. I did
Yeah.
hear about.
So I have no need to be in that, man. I have no reason to be in that.
But I mean, it's a difference between exploitation and interested and respect for this.
Yeah, but was
so?
he-
If I came to interview you about going to the war, I've never been to the war. I've been in a war.
Which
but
I've never been to the war. I've been deployed, but I've never
you
been
was in
anything
the
crazy.
Navy, you was in the
army, yeah,
in
army,
the military.
in the army, yep.
And if I was to come and ask you how, like I do with my grandpa, because he went, and my older brother went, I don't know shit about that, like, but I'm interested in it.
Sure.
But I respect it. I'm not about to come try to get you in there with a Vietnamese soldier, if you've been to the Vietnam War, to try to see if you tweak with them to get this on camera and laugh.
Sure.
That's exploitation.
But I
So
don't-
that's what they're doing to us in the areas we come from. You
Yeah.
know?
See, but I don't know the whole story about Zach TV. I don't know if he was like that. I think he was
Well,
just interviewing people. But I mean, could it be just
he's
one of these
doing-
crazy youngsters that just decided they wanted to get rid of him because he was with somebody?
interested, and he was also going too deep into it.
Was he?
And that's automatic exploitation. He's trying to he's searching for the conflict. Not only is he searching for it, like you got them other guys. I'm not saying no podcasters' names or none. I try not to do that. This one's not alive, but you got some podcasters out there who exploit the conflict out of the scenarios.
Sure.
And they're using these kids because they need their platform to get big. Mm-hmm. And they can use the money or the platform to get where they're trying to get, and the only way they're giving it to them is if you exploit yourself. So this kid is doing that in the deepest form. He's going into your hood. The reality of it is, and this is all gangs, all hoods, all street type, you're not even supposed to be showing that stuff, what goes on in your neighborhood on TV. Mm-hmm. So that's already an exploitation in the gate. You know, when I made choices about whether I'm going to do podcasts and stuff like that, I had to, think ahead. Hey, I can't get too deep into this because I'm not exploiting this where I come from.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that. If it's about my life, it's about what I went through. If it means something to that, then I'll talk about it. And if it's goes that deep and it's for those people, it's only going to them, kind of like I want to do a backdoor to the streets. I want to make these stories for these people to be heard by the people that come from it. Mm-hmm. That's different. But I'm not getting on there to exploit nothing, and that's how he died behind that.
Well, Avo, you just keep me in check. If I go too far, you just please let me know, because I ain't trying to be
I ain't
offending
trying to go
anybody.
there either.
Yeah, I'm not trying to offend anybody here, so just so that's out there. So we'll move on to something a little tamer then. What age and how did you get started rapping? Let's move on into the rap stuff.
I started rapping, I want to say my first rap I ever wrote, which I stole it. I stole it from Johnny Bravo, the cartoon. I don't
Yeah,
know.
really?
He had this rap, and it was so cool to me, and he did the rap, and I copied it down word for word, except I changed my name and put it in his place. And I came out in the living room with my people, and I rapped it word for word. And they thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So I'm like, I'm a rapper. That was it. And then growing up, everybody that I hung around, and this is probably everybody, every hood, every group, all we do is rap. We get drunk or we get lit or we hanging out or we got the music on, we just start rapping.
Huh.
Half of them can't even rap. We just start
Yeah.
rapping. We go back and forth. I got a cousin, Paulie, Party Paul, he get on the song, on a beat, let's rap. And it'll be like 5 of us in a circle just rapping. And he'll just be going the whole time. You can't even get in the rap.
Yeah.
But that's what we did, And that's where it started for me.
Man, I was a huge. We went on a trip for driver's ed. Like driver's ed, you had to drive. At the end, we drove to Iowa City because it was bigger. And I grew up. The later part of my life, my mom remarried. We moved to Sigourney, and so it's a small community. And we would go to Iowa City for our driver's ed, and I went into Camelot Records and I bought Snoop Doggy Dogg Doggy Style. That was my first rap CD. And I'll tell you what, I could rap Lottie Dottie like nobody's business, but I probably can't do it now.
I'm too young for that, man. I don't know. I know like 2 songs about Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, yeah. No, classic album.
I think my first, where I fell in love with rap was, I fell in love with music early. I used to, all I wanted to do was music. Like, all I wanted to do was listen to music. I remember my pops bought me a boombox. Well, I think he got the boombox from a crackhead or something. And he just had it in the car, and it happened to be my birthday. And I was like, "Damn, who boombox is this?" Because I wanted a boombox so bad. So I get in the back seat of the car. The boombox sitting there. "Whose is this?" "Oh, it's your birthday, ain't it? That's yours." I was so happy. I'll never forget. It was just back in the day when you had the boombox. It wasn't the square boombox they used to carry on the shoulder. It was a little oval boombox.
Sure.
With the CD disc on the top or the tape player.
Yep.
I don't even know if it had a CD disc. I know it had a tape player on the front. And it had the 2 tape players so you could record and all that. And that's all I wanted was a pack of tapes so I could record my own, make my own mixtapes.
Would they call that stop mixing or something like that?
You get to record your favorite song, and when your next favorite, you stop it, and when your next favorite song you play, now you got a mixtape.
Yep.
So I used to do that, and the first album I fell in love with was where it was official, where I was like, I want to be a rapper. Like, I want to do an album. I want to be, I want to say was where I actually learned the meaning of the lyrics, how the there was that, it was probably Nelly was a rapper I heard from. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. That was my favorite of all time. I played that on repeat 24/7. That's where it all changed. But Nelly too. It was other stuff, you know. It was, and that was the shift from R&B. Then you started having rap getting prominent, and mainstream rap started coming in around that time too. Nelly, Ja Rule, all them, you know. So
yeah, I'm trying to think of when that even came out, because I think I was in the military at that point, so that was older. Yeah, that was later.
I can tell you the first song that Big Boys get to stomping in my Air Force One.
Air Force Ones, yeah. Now that was the Saint Lunatics though. That was his little group that he had. Yeah, the Saint Lunatics. Nelly had that one that was hot shit. I can't remember what that was.
Hot shit, going down.
Yeah, there you go. Low Street in the Range Rover, whatever, something like that, man. I don't want to embarrass myself on the podcast here because I ain't got no skills. So then when did you start taking it seriously, and why?
Like I said, with me, we'll always go over time because there's always a real deep reason behind stuff. But to make it short, it stemmed from me being locked up. Like I said, that's where my drive came from. And it's like, I want to do something big. At first, it was football for me. I was very good. Ended up going to prison. That went out the window.
I was going to ask you about sports because, man, you're a big dude. Like, you belong on a football field or down the post on a basketball court.
I would have been the NFL 100%. I was a star defensive tackle. I got 1 year of high school in. Killed we were undefeated, only 3 teams scored on us, nobody scored over 6. I had MIP, MVP, one of them for defense, sacks out the world. They were 100% was going, but went to prison.
Yeah.
So that went out the window. But, so then it shifted to music. It was, I want to do something big because I've been held down so long. And I started liking rap. For me, it was the sport of rap. It used to be a sport. It's not like that no more, but it was a sport. It was who got the hardest bars, who's got the best flow, who could rap the fastest. It was a sport. Like, it was back and forth, like dropping albums, dropping songs, who's the best at this. You drop a song, or you rap a song, I'm trying to rap something better. If I get on the song with you, I'm trying to drop a better verse. Like, it was that sport. And that's what drove me to it. And I started taking it serious. I want to say I started taking it serious when I was in jail. because that's when I made my mind, hey, I'm about to be a rapper. There was time where I didn't tell nobody because I'm like, nobody, everybody says that.
Yeah.
It's like everybody wanted to be a basketball player back in the day. Now everybody wants to be a rapper. Now you got everybody wants to be a influencer. For me, it wasn't just I want to be around. I want to be one of the best rappers or the best rapper. That's even gone because there's no more people. Nobody's even trying to fight for the best rapper no more. Now they're just fighting for views.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what downs me with the music. But I think I decided when I was in prison a long time ago, when I started taking it serious and actually, I always took it serious. It was always, this is my goal. Whether I'm saying it, whether I'm working this job, that job, I'm gonna rap. That's it. And when I do that, when I say that, it's not gonna stop. But when I started actually getting my feet in the game, I want to say it was with Do or Die. I wrote a verse in Cook County Jail to Chirac, the Chirac beat. That was that beat just was crazy to me. And Chirac came out, I wrote the verse.
Is that doom, doom, doom? Or I can't hum that, but you got that up on your YouTube
on my
channel,
YouTube.
right?
I got
know
the
I've
old
heard
version. I got a remake of it. I got all that. But it was a crazy beat. That's like the first drill song. Drill took over the whole.
Now, what is drill? I've never figured that out. I've heard it, and I heard Duck say like he's just going to talk about the drill. He says that in a song. What is drill?
So a drill, and excuse the censorship, but a drill comes from the term of going to shoot out somebody. That's what.
So it's like an amp song, right? Like to
like
pump you up.
It like pumps you up pretty much. It says, hey, I'm on demon time. I'm ready to go do some street stuff. You know what I mean? It kind of comes from that. That's where it comes from.
So that's like the song Slide from.
So back in the day, you remember when Ice Cube and all them old, nothing against you, Ice Cube, but the old people came out with their stuff. I was young. I wasn't even born, I don't think, when they started. They started rapping a certain type of rap. Before that, it was battle rap and all this. And you had people talking about the streets, but they started talking about some straight gangster stuff. And it became gangster rap.
Right.
Drill is another form of that, but the newer version and a lot more serious than they were. Like these kids it's about who can be the craziest, the quickest, the most. And then you got kids now following it that never even had to grow up around that. So that's drill music.
Yeah.
But Chirac, that beat was like the first. It wasn't the first drill song, but that beat was the first huge drill type song beat that kind of locked it in, and all that stems from a certain kind of like footworking music, house music, all that Chicago stuff, and it came out drill, and now that's everybody uses it. That's everybody's trap comes from it, all that.
Really, trap comes from that? Because trap's been around. Like I know Jeezy came out with wasn't Jeezy the one that kind of
different than the trap they talking about now. Yeah.
Okay,
that was just he was talking about trapping, really.
Gosh, I want to, because like on that Universal site that I sent to you to look for beats and stuff that we can use, we got licensing for it. You can look up like rap and then you can drill it down and you can do trap and stuff like that. But, man, I could have swore that was something he was talking about, but man, maybe you're right. It was just the way.
To my understanding, Jeezy just talked about trap, and I don't think his category fell under. He was more gangster rap than anything. I don't know, but pretty much everything out now is coming from the influence of the Midwest with drill music, or, it's kind of like the South took over for a while, LA took over for a while, New York took over for a while. Now it's the Midwest, and it's not just Chicago. It's the whole Midwest, Detroit, all the way to Chicago, all the way to the little town. And this sound has went all the way to the UK and back.
Yeah, I've heard of the UK people doing that.
And it's not even about just the sound, it's about the influence now. Now you got these dumbass people with these crazy accents over there talking about, I'll drill you, mate, and all this crazy stuff. I was like, man, bro, that's how big the influence is, and it's probably not going away. But that's the first beat I did, and I got out, I laid that beat, and I went crazy on it. Look it up. It's Chirac by OMO Avo. It's on YouTube. It's also on my Hit House freestyle if y'all want to see it. But be advised. But I landed a tour with Do or Die headlining off of that song.
Amazing.
My homie Chain Dog pulled me. He pulled the car over when he heard the verse. And he was just like, man, this is crazy. And then he worked out some, got me in on the tour with Do or Die.
Yeah.
And that's where
Amazing.
I went back to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Still wasn't, but I said, hey, that's my first taste. I recorded. I got recording stuff when I get back out. So I went through that, trying to get through life. Now it's full force. It's full force music. I'm not working nowhere, none of that. I'm doing music.
What's your favorite like area? Like, are you straight Midwest fan? You like West Coast? You like South Coast? You like East Coast? What's your favorite region of rap?
Midwest all
Visit
day.
Midwest all day?
All day.
Man, I gotta say, I like the South, man. I was a huge 8-Ball and MJG fan. When I was I'm pretty sure I was in high school, On Top of the World came out. Man, that was such a great song. And 8-Ball's got that smooth flow about him. Something about them big dudes, they got that smooth flow to them.
Yeah, I fuck with everybody though.
Yeah.
You know, you got all the South, everything lends something.
You know, and honestly, I think Ludacris is one of the most underrated lyricists out there. He's always got a good CD coming out, and he's just always saying something super clever in his lyrics, man. So like, I just
the man did his flow is out this world.
Mm-hmm.
So
some of the greatest intros on his CDs too. Who were your biggest rap influences then? Like, who influenced you as a rapper?
So influence wise,
Yeah, like
favorite wise and influence kind of different, but
correct. Like, who influenced you and kind of helped form your style?
Influenced me.
Really?
All of them, but at the same time, when you talk about artists, it's hard for me because I love it so much. You know, Outkast.
Mm-hmm. ATLians.
My favorite. That's my mama's favorite group. Shout out my mama. OG. Everybody call her OG. All my homies call her. And that lady crazy. I love you, mama. I made it. But that's her favorite group. Andre 3 Stacks. That man right there to me.
So how involved are you in the creation of your music and your videos?
So, good question, because a lot of people aren't involved much, or I gotta get it out the mud. I do everything from production, beats, video recording, video editing, mastering, mixing, writing the scripts, writing the songs. I do the promotion, I do the management, all that. And I'm just now starting to get people to help. Shout out Chain Dog, he's starting to help me. We kind of locking in as a manager, artist type of thing. But I do everything. I'm not great at everything, but I know a little bit about.
You got to start off somewhere,
you know.
You know, and you say that, but like, you're probably better than what you think you are.
For sure.
You know what I mean? People probably look at your videos and they're like, "Wow, that's pretty good." Because like
I haven't shot all of my videos.
Sure.
Though. My goal is not to shoot my own video or record my own music because I don't like doing, especially trying to master, mix a song.
You don't want that skill though?
I want the skill, and it is so hard. People don't understand. That's
it is.
a lot to learn. And I just want to be able to go in the studio and rap.
I
want to get on the song and rap. If somebody recorded, I'm trying to get to that point. And shout outs to those who don't have to go through that. But I mean, that's what I gotta do. You know, I heard something the other day. Don't make an excuse. You know, you looking for something from the outside to help you get there, and when it's really inside you. You know, so if the money ain't there, you still gotta. That's how I had to learn. You know, I had to choose being in the streets, making money off the streets, versus this. I don't do nothing in the streets no more. So I don't have that income coming in like I did when I was hustling, you know. So now I gotta wing it. So
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I learned everything, you know, on the music side.
I don't think people realize how long it takes to, you know, once you record that music or you record that video, what it takes to cut that, put it together, and actually make it look good. Like, it takes a long friggin' time, man.
And a lot of people skip steps.
Yeah.
Some people, like on the ASAP Rocky album, there was a song where he said it was a skit, and the man say, "I would rather release bad sounding good shit than good sounding bad shit, bullshit."
Yeah.
And it's crazy because there's kids out here with the iPhone, not even an iPhone, they got a Google Android recording it, and they using BandLab, and they making hits. And
Come
going
on,
viral.
Avo.
Don't
be dogging the Androids out, man.
I can't, look, I'm iPhone gang all day. Apple, you see all I got Apple product, but it's the quality difference, you know?
I don't know, man.
But these guys are still making good sounding bullshit. Or no, they're making bad sounding good shit.
Yeah.
And going viral. And it's like, I got all the technology. I know I'm learning all these tools, and it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess the level I'm trying to make it to might be higher. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
it takes a lot of work to get there.
We talked about it on the Mancast one day, which, speaking of the Mancast, like, we do 45-minute to an hour episodes. Man, honestly, it takes me 5 hours to edit that thing to get it looking all right, you know? Because, I mean, you got to watch all the way through it and catch everything, and there's so much to it. But
and it's so much work.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. I can't even remember where I was going from there.
Now imagine doing that and doing the production of your music.
Yeah.
And then trying to find time in between all this to write some music. Mm-hmm. You know, in order to write them good songs, you gotta be mentally, your mind has to be free. And last night I had to, sit down and get a verse together for this freestyle through all the chaos I got going on. But it's like when you line up, I guess this what makes a good artist. When you lock in the middle of all that chaos, them be the best verses sometimes.
Sure.
And I think last night I wrote one of my best verses for the freestyle we got coming up right after this show.
Okay. So yeah, we're about to end. So, but do you have any tours or albums or out now or coming up? So promote yourself, sir.
So yeah, I got one. We finna drop this freestyle. Oh yeah, today we just dropped the cypher I did out at Hit House, which I haven't even seen yet, by the way. So check that out. Hit House cypher. It's on Hit House Chicago's page. It'll be on mine soon. OMO Avo page, YouTube. It'll be probably all over social media. You got Lil Ray. You got some good artists from the city, from Chicago on there, man. Going crazy. It was fun. They're doing a live event tonight, so there'll probably be more to that. But check it out on my page. Also, I'm about to drop Love on Site, LOS. It's a song, a love song, man. A real love song.
And that's on your Facebook, right? You got a little clip of that?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I got some videos out.
I like that.
But we're actually doing the cinematic 4K video coming soon for that, and it should be on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, all that stuff in the next couple days. Yeah, other than that, man, check out YouTube, Spotify, OMO Avo, just OMO Avo. You type it in Google, it's gonna all pop up. I got good music all over, man, and I got more coming.
And now, the Hit House, I want you to talk a little bit about that, because you got a podcast episode on there too, where you talk a little bit more about your life and stuff like that. What's going on with the Hit House? I want you to talk a little bit about that, because you got a podcast episode on there with them guys. I just want to know, what's the deal with that?
I mean, like I said, the cypher coming out. Other than that, I do a lot of work with him. Shout out Major, man. Shout out Major. He a good video man, good producer, great producer. I don't know if he knows it, but, I work with him all the time, man. Shout out to that guy.
I think from there, man, we're ready to go to the booth, record that freestyle, so you're going to have to catch that on a separate episode and make another click. But we're in here trying to promote the indie artist. We're trying to make Avo a star, which he already is, honestly. If you go check out his YouTube and Facebook and all the stuff he's got out, great videos, great music videos. Peas is a good song. Me Time's great, which you got a video you're going to shoot about that.
Me Time coming
Me
soon.
Time. Moonlight's good.
Tell Money Meek. We're trying to get her on the podcast soon.
Okay.
She just, I don't know if she believes in herself enough. So I challenge you, Money Meek, to believe in yourself, girl.
That's where it starts at. So, but we're here for the indie artists. So we're going to come up with some sort of thing where you can submit your music to us to get out there, because this podcast here is going to grow. You listen to the corny white guy, but it's the truth, man. We got it in our heads. We're going to make it big. So we want to help make you a star out here. We want to get you blown up. And continue listening, checking out the podcast, because coming up we got rap album reviews where we're going to review an album that's out. We've got Rap 101, so you want to learn how to be a rapper, how to build yourself up as a rapper. And then we even got the inside scoop on the industry side of things and how not to get screwed over by the industry side. So, man, if you got anything else to say, Avo, now's the time. If not, catch the next episode of It's a Rap.
Check this motherfucker freestyle out. I'm about to go crazy. Brrrah. Let's go.
All right. It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap.